Hi, I'm Dana, and today I really wanted to talk about self-diagnosing autism and also faking autism because they're two subjects that come so hand in hand online. And they're two of the big things that put me off sort of venturing into the autism community before my own diagnosis. I was diagnosed about 3 years ago now. It's been a while for me. But I think that anyone who's late diagnosed has experienced self-diagnosing. You've got to figure out, oh, I think I'm autistic. I should go and get a diagnosis. So I was trying to explore the online community and figure more out about myself and figure out, am I autistic? Is it worth me going for this diagnosis? And there was just such vitriol against people who self-diagnose that I was completely put off of it. And I didn't really venture into the autism community online again until 6 months to a year after my diagnosis, when I was like, oh, so I am definitely autistic. Can I be in this space now? And I just feel like it's a really unhealthy thing to be doing as a community online. And it's really damaging for the people that are coming into it thinking they may be autistic and trying to self-diagnose who don't have other options and the like. Because I think that's the main reason people self-diagnose. I think very few people self-diagnose just for funsies. They're not just I've decided I'm autistic now. I think vast amounts of research go into it because we're trying to figure out who we are as people. And the self-diagnosis is figuring out, oh, I match to a lot of these things. But for the most part, it's people that can't access the diagnosis. This is what must be remembered. I think that, I've experienced it myself. It can be very easy to assume that everyone online is in a similar situation to you, in a similar country to you, and so on and so forth. It's very easy to get a sort of Western centralised idea of what the world is online. But then you've got to remember that there's a lot of other places that exist that have vastly different ways of doing things. And for some people, it's going to be essentially impossible to get an autism diagnosis. Even personally, I was very, very lucky to receive a diagnosis, and that was after a 2-year waiting list. If I lived in America or if our health system in the UK was privatised, I would not have a diagnosis to this day. I wouldn't have been able to afford it. I wouldn't have one. So I think it's really important to remember when speaking about or to people who are self-diagnosed that it's probably because they don't have the privilege of getting a diagnosis, because a diagnosis is very much a privilege in my opinion. I think I was very, very lucky to get one, and not everyone can. But there's a lot more to it than just, oh, it's hard to get a diagnosis, For some people, it's a case of being autistic on their permanent record of health things means that they may not be able to do the things that they want to do in the future. If someone wants to join the military, I don't know why you would, but if you want to join the military, I'm fairly certain that you can't if you're autistic. So if someone thinks they might be autistic and wants to join the military, they're a lot more likely to just self-diagnose and never go and get a diagnosis. I'm fairly sure that in some places it makes it a lot more difficult, if not impossible, to adopt or foster children. So if someone wants to do that in the future, they're not going to go and get a diagnosis that ruins that option for them. There's a lot of times when, yeah, they probably are autistic and they probably should go and get a diagnosis, and perhaps they even could go, but it's going to ruin something for them, so they're obviously not going to do that. But they still deserve to be able to access the support online and the support from the community that they'd receive if they did go and get the diagnosis and confirm themselves to be autistic. Because I very much think that that's all a diagnosis is confirmation that you're autistic. Chances are you already know, you've already self-diagnosed. Obviously that mostly just applies to people that are late diagnosed like myself, but that's who I'm here for, that's what I'm making videos about. So yeah, my personal opinion is that self-diagnosis is fully valid, and if someone tells me they've self-diagnosed as autistic, I'm just going to accept them as being autistic, because I think that for the most part, it's not really something you want to be. I've got a whole nother video about it that I'll link up here about accepting autistic and the like, but for me it was a very big oh crap, so this is forever then. I'm not just a bit anxious or a bit depressed. It's not something I'm going to be able to just get a medication for or change my worldview and get a bit of therapy and then be a normal person. It's not that. It's a lifelong, I'm always going to be autistic, and it's a lot to deal with. And I don't think most people would then choose to have this thing. I don't think it's something that most people would want. So yeah, but then comes the conversation of people faking it, because that does happen for some fucking reason. People fake having autism online. And I think it's a good one to talk about because I have been accused of faking being autistic, even with a diagnosis. So God help you if you're a self-diagnosed autistic person in an online space, because I can't imagine the kind of terror that you get from people online. But like I say, it does happen. Now, I think there's a lot of reasons, and some people are just going to be bad people that see an opportunity and go for it, because there is, in my opinion, certainly becoming a niche online for neurodivergent educators and people to relate to. And basically what I'm doing here, you know, I've experienced myself. I'm someone that's been online for a very long time, and when I started this channel, I already had like 20 videos up maybe, and 50 subscribers, and suddenly I start posting videos about autism, and now I've got like 800 subscribers. You know, it's very clearly becoming a niche that's quite popular, and hi Jodie, and quite easy to break into. Like, I'm doing it myself, it's not that difficult, you know. Make some videos with your thoughts and opinions on autistic people, and suddenly there's a community there. And, you know, speaking from personal experience, I feel like I've got a group of people that I belong with and relate to, and it's a very nice experience to have online. You know, it's very validating, it's very affirming, and I can see why someone would want that. But if you're autistic or neurotypical, you can't just slide in and be like, I'm neurotypical, but I'd like to be here. So what do? Especially as a teenager, the obvious conclusion is, oh, I'm gonna fake being autistic so I can enter this space where I feel like I belong, and I feel like I can speak to people easier, and I feel like people are nicer. You know, we have created a community that, although it's got its issues, if you choose who you follow well and interact with the good people, it's a very, very nice community to be a part of. And I think if other people are seeing that, you know, it's the whole William Shatner situation, isn't it? People see, oh, they've been excluded from society to the point where they've had to form their own little community. I want to be a part of that. That looks nicer than like the whole big community we've got going on. And boom, you've got William Shatner being like, why should autistic people have their own spaces? And rather than asking that, they just want to join the space. And I get that. However, if you've got like that business side of your mind, it's also a case of, you know, if someone's smarter than me and better at this than me, they could have probably been making money from this by now, and money makes the world go round. You know, some people are going to see it as a money-making niche. Like, I had a reel on Instagram that was about autism that got like 500,000 views, which I know in the grand scheme of things isn't that big, but to me, I'm famous, it went viral, I'm the next Celine Dion. You know, everyone knows me now because 500,000 people saw my reel. It's quite an easy niche to get to take off. And personally, I have no idea how to like monetize things or whatever. I don't know how to make money online. But if someone was a bit more savvy with that, it would be very easy to be like, okay, I'll fake having autism, I'll build this niche, I'll ka-ching, get that cash in. And that's going to be very, very appealing to a lot of people, especially with like the current climate and everything going on. However, I also think that a good majority of people that get called out, especially like online, on TikTok and the like, I think a lot of the people that are getting called out for faking autism probably aren't even aware that they're faking it. You know, I think the main issue that a lot of people have with self-diagnosis is that it's not always accurate. Obviously, I'm of the opinion that if you're late diagnosed, you probably self-diagnose to be able to go and get the diagnosis. But that's going to leave the people that also did the exact same research and came to the exact same conclusion, but aren't autistic. Because there's a lot of other neurodivergencies and mental health conditions that can make it feel and make it sound and line up with the symptoms of being autistic. I was told I was just depressed and anxious rather than autistic for many, many years. There's a huge amount of women that are misdiagnosed with things like BPD instead of autism when they're autistic women. And they're actual diagnoses from trained medical professionals. So obviously someone that's just not feeling very good and not feeling like they fit into the world and not feeling like they necessarily know who they are or what's going on with themselves, it's very easy to Google things and look through the list of symptoms and be like, oh my god, this lines up with me so well, this is exactly who I am. And I get that, because before I found out about autism and started learning more about being autistic, I'd done that with a million different things. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm bipolar, maybe I'm BPD, maybe I'm ADHD, maybe I'm autistic. And then that was the one that stuck, and I was like, oh, I think I'm autistic. This one lines up better than any of the others did. And I was right, but not everyone's gonna be right, because there's a lot of different things that can be going on. That's why we have doctors, that's why we have medical professionals to diagnose these things. So I think that there's probably a good degree of an issue with people being accused of faking who actually just didn't realise they're not autistic and something else. And finally, I want to discuss that autism is so different for everybody. You know, like I say, I have a full diagnosis. I've done the assignment. I've done the assignment. I did the assessment. I got my diagnosis. A fully trained medical professional listened to me tell the truth about my life and decided, yep, I'm going to diagnose you as being autistic because you clearly are. And even then, people like to come online and tell me, no, you're not actually, because I can point out this trait, and this trait that you're missing, or this trait that you're not doing properly, or, you know, so on and so forth. People love to accuse people of faking autism. And it definitely kicks off my imposter syndrome. I'm just like, oh God, what if they're right? But I also have a diagnosis. I also live my life as an autistic people and relate to all the other autistic people online and have lots of other autistic people tell me I'm relatable. So no, being autistic just presents in so many different ways that even medical professionals have been missing it in women for like decades and decades. So I don't know why one dude online thinks that he can decide who is and isn't autistic. You know, I know it's not one dude, I know lots of people are doing it, but it's lots of individuals, you feel me, who don't perhaps have the deepest or most nuanced or rounded understanding of what it is to be autistic, because they're exclusively living with their version of autism or their kid's version of autism or whoever else that they know it's autistic that makes them think that they know what autism is. You know, every single one of us has a different list of traits and different severity of different traits and so on and so forth. So we all come across as being very, very different. You know, I've met autistic people that I cannot relate to for like one iota of time. Like they're just a completely different type of person to me and there's no relatability. And then I've met other autistic people where I'm like, are you me? Like, what's happening here? Do we need to merge bodies and become one person because we're literally the same? Like, you know? It's such a wide spectrum, even though I don't really feel like it is a spectrum because it's more of like the mixer board that I've talked about before. It's a whole thing, you know, but we're all very, very different. And I feel like that makes it damn near impossible to accuse anyone of faking autism or really most other neurodivergencies. But then that's the difficulty of like, well, some people are faking it and they should be called out. And you know, I'm just a gal making videos on the internet. I don't know what to do about that issue. I don't know how to go about calling out only the people that really are faking it. I settle for just not calling out anyone and scrolling past the things I don't like. And I think that's a much nicer way to live for the most part. But you know, you do you. People should be called out if they're fucking up and faking things. It is a shitty thing to do. Oh, that should probably be like my final talk. Don't fake autism. It's really shitty. I struggle most days with the simplest of things like eating or showering because of being autistic. Don't just pretend to be autistic to get views online when the majority of us are out here struggle, see, I can't even talk, struggling to live through day-to-day life. It's not fair, it's not nice, it's not cool, and you shouldn't do it. So anyone who was faking has clearly stopped now from that little chat. And I can leave, I can go, I've fixed the issue. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a couple of days.